Okay, people, I'm going to try to give you as clear view as I can, but this is a 100 amp lithium battery that has three things plugged to it. It has the Garmin screen on the front for the live scope. It has the actual live scope. The black box is over here. And it has the hummingbird plugged to it. Three things, okay? Right now, all three of these things are turned off. Let me show you. The screens are off. The screens are off and the live scope should be off. Now let's check the draw on the battery with everything turned off. And to do this, you gotta set your multimeter to the 10 amp. Ideally you would have 20 amp, but I know the draw is not going to be over 10 amp, so the 10 amp should be sufficient. When everything is turned off, I hope you can see, guys. I know it's not going to be perfect, but it's kind of difficult. Okay, 0.8 amp, 0.8 amp, 0.9 amp. You see the draw? 0.95 amp, 0.9. Now all of a sudden I have 1.5 amp draw. This is way too big of a draw. 1.6 amp. Something is working, guys. 2 amp draw. 2 amp draw. Look at this huge draw. Okay. So something here is not right. I had problems with my old lead battery. I couldn't figure why. This battery was always dead. And you charge it, and by the time you go there, it's always dead. Guys, I think this Garmin equipment, this black box for the live scope doesn't have on and off button. I know everything draws a little bit when it's turned off, but this is too big of a draw, and also it's kind of unstable. It starts like 0.8, which is exactly the draw of the black box. But then the longer you hold it, the longer the draw starts to increase. So I don't even understand why the draw is not stable. Here now again, starts with 0.8, and little by little, the draw starts to grow. Folks, look at this now. I removed just one fuse, okay? I removed one fuse. Look at this now. Look, 0.02, which is you're always gonna have just a tiny little draw. 0.02 is what they say it's acceptable. Plus, I mean, it will take forever to draw just 1 amp from the battery. I think that's normal. Now let's put this fuse back. I know you're dying to find out which fuse this is, and I'm a little bit surprised. Let's put the fuse back. Okay. Let's do the draw test again. 0.8, 0.8, 0.9, and it starts to grow now. But it was not the black box. I have a separate fuse. Let me show you my fuses here. I don't know how much you can see, but I have a separate fuse for the black box, and I have a separate fuse for the hummingbird, and I have a separate fuse for my cigarette lighter. But the fuse that I removed, that is taking all of the draw, is my GPS, whatever, the 12-inch screen on the front for the live scope. Now I expected the black box to be the one drawing the power, because it doesn't have on or off. It's only controlled through the through this interface of the monitor. Maybe it is still the black box, I don't know. But when I remove the fuse for the screen, the current dies. Let me remove the fuse for the black box to see if the current will die. Just to test. Let me remove the fuse for the black box now. Let's test again. Now the screen is on the front, the 12-inch screen, but the black box is off. No, the current is here. The current is here. It's not the black box. 0.8, 85, 86, 89, 0.9. Yep. The draw is from this front monitor over there. Very interesting. That I did not expect. It's from my monitor. I don't know what can be the problem. Anyway, I have to install some disconnecting switch now. All right, check this out. So I installed a couple of disconnecting switches here. One of them has the screen on the front. It's Garmin GPS 1222 SV or something like this. And the other one is for the black box. So I just want the live scope and the screen for the live scope that are the culprits for this. I want them completely disconnected. But this screen, there is something wrong with it anyway, because look what happens. It has a power off, power on button. Look at the button. Right here, power off, power on button. But this unit has a mind of its own. It's working in the background, it's doing its own stuff. Look at this now. I'm gonna turn on both of these guys. I'm just gonna give them power, not turn them on, okay? So I'm gonna do this and this. Look, it turned on. But who clicked the power button? Nobody clicked the power button. Why are you turning on? Who told you to turn on? This is unacceptable. On top of that, you know how the black box here, it doesn't even have on-off button. So that's why, just to have a peace of mind, both of them on a disconnecting switch. I was thinking about installing a main switch power to cut off to everything. It's probably better, but for me it was easier to use these guys here. And now I'm gonna control only this. This way I can still have, you know, power. I can only turn off the live scope. Now the power button does work. Look at this. Everything works. Live scope works. Power button does work. No. Okay, look. I turn power off and turned off. But why does it turn on by itself without permission? This is the problem, and this is what destroyed my LED battery. I had a 100 amp hour LED battery before this, and this battery just died so quickly, inexplicably. Brand new battery died so quickly, so I bought a brand new lithium battery, but I had problems with this lithium battery. The voltage was dropping all the time. All the time. You charge it and 2 days later it dropped. So yeah, I did the draw test and I found out that something is drawing from the battery all the time, even when everything seems to be turned off. Anyway, that's my story.